YouTubers! This is finally happening. We're reading Titanic sinks in a little miniseries in June, but that's okay. Am I doing this weekly? No. At least not this month. July, we'll finish this book up. Anyway, introduction. In late April 1912, William J. Gatemer Nor of New York City received a postcard from Europe. It was dated April 11th. In front of the postcard was a picture of a huge ocean liner plowing through the waves. The ship had 4 smokestacks and a massive black hole. It was the Royal Mail steamer Titanic. Mayor Nor turned over the postcard and read the message scroll on the back. As you had better chain up the Statue of Liberty to the skyscraper on 5th Avenue. Better shut the United States fleet to tow him in. I guess New York will be wiped off the map. Well, Sky was signing. Tea time Blake. Let's do it on Titanic. They can mail this message to the mayor. Just as the ship started its first voyage from Europe to New York, Blake had thought the Titanic was so big and powerful that it would swallow up the Statue of Liberty to pass by. After all, the Titanic was the greatest ocean liner ever. To build the Titanic took almost 3 years. Its owner, the White Star Line, has spared no expense and is the best ship afloat. When all the work was done, Titanic had cost more than $10 million. A mind-boggling amount back in 1912. From front to back, the Titanic measured 882 feet, almost as long as 3 football fields. The steel plates of the Titanic held in place by more than 3 million metal rivets. The rivets alone weighed 1,200 tons. The ship's mammoth rubber was as tall as a house. It weighed 100 tons. The Titanic has 8 giant propellers by steam engines as strong as 46,000 horses. The ship was designed with 2 goals in mind: comfort and stability. Advertisers of the Titanic described it as the most subconscious pilots afloat. Newspapers called it the wonderful ship. That's why the tree and the Millionaire Special. As long as 4 city blocks and as tall as 11-story building, the Titanic was incredible. Its first voyage, the steam was scheduled to travel from Southampton, England to New York, but the Titanic never made it to New York. By the time Blake's postcard was delivered to Mayor Nor, the Titanic was in pieces on the ocean floor, under 2.5 miles of freezing salt water. More than 1,500 people, including Cheatham Blake, had died along with the ship. The entire world was shocked when the Titanic went down. only 5 days into his first voyage, said it was finding comfort in stability. The Titanic came to safe with disaster and terror. Today, 85 years after the wreck of the Titanic, people are still fascinated by the death of the great ship. What was it like to sail on the Titanic? What happened that fateful night when it sank beneath the waves? How did people survive the terrible accident? And most important of all, how did good successor have happened? Chapter 1. Wednesday, April the 10th, 1912, noon. The sea missiles that RMS Titanic held a farewell as the ship east into the harbor channel of Southampton into England. It was an awesome sight. The crowd on the dock ran alongside the mighty Titanic as it slowly made its way to sea. On the docks, people yelled and waved handkerchiefs at the hundreds of lucky passengers on board. Passengers called goodbyes and last messages on the Titanic's main decks. Higher up on the boat deck, the ship's band played Heathens music, which added to the excitement. Our tent only passed 2 ocean liners, the Oceanic and New York, that moved down the channel. They seemed like toy boats next to the massive Titanic. The Titanic's 4 huge funnels or smokestacks loomed over rows of the other ships. The cat on the dock cheered with pride as the colossal Queenie Titanic headed to the open sea in its first voyage. And suddenly, a sound like gunfire echoed from the decks of New York. 6 Oscars steel cables that anchored the ocean liner in place broke off as snaked filled the air towards the dock. A panicked crowd screamed and ducked. Aboard the Titanic, passengers crowded the ship's rail and watched in horror as the New York drifted across the water. The small ship headed straight for Titanic's black hole, as if drawn by a visible force. Officers on New York shouted orders. The sailors rushed to and fro. They draped mats along the side of the boat, hoping to soften the vertical collision. It seemed as though nothing could prevent a crash. But then the Titanic took charge. Its pilot ordered the port engine to surge. Engine level of power. Pushing water away from the Titanic. The swelling water pushed the small ship away at the last possible moment. Passengers on the Titanic sighed relief as a pair of tugboats came alongside the New York and hold it out of the shipway. After a short delay, the Titanic was again on its way. Many of the Titanic's passengers were impressed by the officers in charge of their ship. Their quick thinking had avoided the accident. The passengers were also proud to be the first aboard this unsinkable ship. The Titanic was the largest object on the surface of the planet. It was so big, it could pull and push another ocean liner as it was rubber duck. As the passengers sailed into their cabins for the voyage across the ocean, women enjoyed to the deck reclined her luggage. Is this ship really unsinkable? She asked. Yes, lady, the cool man replied with confidence. God himself could not sink this ship. Well, thank you so much for reading. We'll be back next time with chapter 2. Bye.